Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today Blake Damon does a pack review. As you guys already know, the Werewolves pack just came out recently, so in this video I'm gonna look through all the build and buy to see whether or not I'd recommend this pack for you. So let's get started. We'll start off with all the comfort items. Need to put my glasses on so I can see. And the first item is called Hasty Replacement Pallet Bed. It's actually a bed made out of pallets, and I love how the blanket's called patched. I love how with all the swatches, all the colors go together. The next item is called Pups and Apogee Loft? I don't know what apogee is. I feel like this is a bunk bed that would go really well with the pallet bed that we just saw. I love how they continue the style of the first bed that we saw. This next item is called Wolf Party Bush. It's a new bush where you can go and pee and poo and woohoo and nap. It looks like it's made out of pine needles. There are no swatches. The next item is called Starry Night Toddler Bed. As the name suggests, it's a toddler bed. I really like the gabled roof that we've got going on. And if you guys didn't know, I love gabled roofs. Some of these swatches actually have holes in the curtains shaped like stars, which I love. The next item is called Tide No More Seat. As the name suggests, it's a seat made out of tires. They don't really change much except for the seat part changes colors, but the tire itself doesn't really. The next item is called Cushy Leather Chair with cup holders. So this item is actually, I think it looks like a salvaged movie cinema chair. This one's really cool. It looks like it's extra worn. The next item is called Loonvik's Loon Velvet Theater-esque chair. This is actually a theater chair, like an actual theater chair where you would sit and watch like a play. I don't mind it, but I think I would have preferred a bit more wear and tear on the actual like seat bit. The next item is called Totally Stable Dining Chair. This chair is pretty good. I like it actually. It's a good variety of swatches. So we have like normal plain ones, and then we have the worn ones, and then we have the scrappy ones. Next we have Patched Up Old Couch. Looks like a good old 3-seater couch. It's really patched up. Like if Frankenstein's monster was a couch, this would be it. The swatches are pretty good. They just changed the color around of the leather. And our last comfort item is called I'm Liking You Love Seat. That's a good use of punnage. I love it. Really cool idea. I can't wait to use this one. I think it's one of my favorite items. And now we'll move on to surfaces. And our first item is called Totally Stable Dining Table. I love the irony of the name of this item and the fact that in order for it to be a stable dining table, they needed to put a book under one of the legs. I think I would have liked to... Okay, I was about to say I think I would have liked to see a swatch with a bit more wear and tear. Here it is. Our next item is called Door Desk. It is a desk made from a door. I love how this item is obviously made out of different parts. This one is a box put on the side. That's a filing cabinet that won't even shut properly. And then the desk is a door. It's a good item. I love it. Our next item is called Worn Secretary Desk. This isn't like all the other items. This doesn't look worn. The swatches, oh, I was about to say that the swatches don't show a lot of wear and tear, but here we are. We have some wear and tear. But again, this item doesn't really show a lot of like scrappiness. It doesn't feel salvaged. Old, but not salvaged, if that makes any sense at all. And now we'll move on to plumbing. Oh, in this one, we only have the Wolf Party Bush, which we've already covered. So we'll move on to activities and skills. So our first item is called the Rockmeister Syzygy 7000 guitar. And that is one good looking guitar. It looks very clean and tidy. I think I would have preferred a scrappy looking guitar, but this looks good. I like it. Got a pink, red, and blue, and then of course our black, white, and gray. Our next item is called a Beat 'em Up, Beat Up Punching Bag. I like this swatch the most because it's got a vampire face for your sim to punch. It also comes in white. Next item is called Get Buff Workout Machine. The chair looks like a car seat, and I like how these handles are just basically taped onto the poles. And if you look here at the back, the weights are actually made out of cement bricks. We have a variety of looks. I think my favorite is this pink one. Our next item is called Scrap Heap Bar. The swatches are pretty good. They continue on the theme of, you know, scrappy. Our next item is called Boss Bus Bar. This is a really cool looking item. Normally we'd find items like this in Debug. They come, of course, in a variety of colors. I think this is one of my favorite items in the entire pack. The next item is called Moonwood Mill Tunnel Entrance. So again, this is another one of those items that usually we'd have to find in debug. It was really nice of the Sims team to allow us to have an item like this in the catalog. I think my favorite swatch is one with the red door. Our next item is called Christopher's Planter. So this is a planter box made out of wooden sleepers. Got some plain wooden swatches, and then we have ones that look extra worn. Our next item is called Junkfield Bonfire. So this is our new bonfire, but it's made out of all these different things. We've got a sofa, we've got a painting, we've got a stereo even. I think this has got to be one of my other favorite items. Our next item is called Evelyn's Trusty Telescope. So this is a scrappy looking telescope. It looks like the legs are made out of planks. There's no swatches that I really hate, so that's a plus. And the last item under skills and activities is the Wolf Party Bush, which we've already seen under comfort. So we'll move on to decorations. Oh my god, we've got a lot in decorations. Our first item is called Collection of Wall Destruction. This item must be placed on a wall, so I guess it's supposed to make a wall look like it's been scratched. They don't change the color, they just sort of change the scratches. And as you can see, we've got, oh, not all of it is scratches apparently. Some of it is just general wear and tear. Our next item is called Lunar Wall Stickers Collection. This item must be placed on a wall. Get a wall up. They seem to change the image. They got really cool night themed swatches going on, which I love. For some reason, my items got reordered. Anyway, let's start from the beginning. Our next item is called Planter Drawer. It's actually a drawer that's been turned into a planter that you can hang on walls. They changed the color of the drawers as well as the plants a little bit. Our next item is called the Planters 5. It looks like a bunch of plants that have been put inside various containers. They look like they mostly changed the color of the buckets. Our next item is called Sunshine Barrel Planter. So it looks like half a barrel that's been used as a planter. They mostly changed the color of the flowers and the planter. The next item is called Werewolf Noir Film Poster. They continue to look like film posters, but they're all like wolf themed. I think the only one that doesn't feature a wolf is the first swatch, unless I'm missing it. No, there's no wolf, just a full moon. Our next item is called Fury Fueled Non-Conformity Poster. It's all very rebellious, angsty. The next item is called Lupine Subculture Anti-Mural Version 12 by Barksy. I think that's a pun on Banksy. So we have the newspaper ones, and then we have these ones, which look really strange and unusual, but I love it. Oh my god, this is so cool. I'm loving, this is my favorite so far. Very Banksy-esque. Our next item is called Clawed Masterpiece, but I think all the swatches for this item have vampires with their faces clawed off, which makes sense because, you know, vampires and werewolves don't really get along. The next item is called Moonwood Hill Historical Society's Bicentennial Celebration Prints. This is a very long name. It's a very fancy frame. Oh, it's very pretty. This isn't like the other ones where it's all like scrappy and rough. Our next item is called 7 Years Unlucky Mirror. So if you don't know, if you break a mirror, it's 7 years bad luck. And this mirror has been broken, so whoever broke it has 7 years bad luck. I love how like part of it's been taped up to kind of keep the mirror from falling apart. Oh, the swatches are really good because they actually change where the mirror has been broken. Next item is called Lunar Vibes Wall Hanging. So this looks like a mirror with shelves and kind of looks like a moon. And of course, we've got our worn paint scrappy look. They only have it in red. Our next two items are called Left Tarp Curtain and Right Tarp Curtain. These two items are both identical. They're just like mirrored. Looks like a tarp that's been pinned up. They're mostly plain, but then of course we have some pattern ones. But I think I would have liked to see a white tarp as well. Oh no, there's one right here. Sorry. The next item is called Old Factory Shutter. This item looks crappy. I'm not sure what this item is. I think it's like a canteen, or like if you open up the shutter, then that's where you'd like buy your food and stuff like that. I guess, I don't know. Our next item is called Mooncaster Memento. So it looks like a little statue with, oh, one side of it has a human and the other side has a wolf. They change color, like you get different kinds of metal or different kinds of like stone. The next item is called the Tiny Fungus Among Us Terrarium, but it looks like a box with mushrooms in it. Swatches are okay. They mostly change the color of the mushrooms, but I think my favorite ones are the ones with like 3 different colors in the mushrooms. And next item is called the Gnome Wolf. Oh, it's one of our gnomes that are turning into a wolf. That's cool. I love the look of this gnome. Probably my favorite gnome. The next item is called World's Most Inaccurate Sundial. The markers are made out of glass, broken glass. It's just been wedged. And the indicator is a nail or a screw that's just been screwed into the log. The swatches mostly change the color of the wood. Our next item is called Rusted Factory Fan. It looks like the blades are made out of different planks of wood. Our next item is called Lunar Experts Folio. This item's pretty good. It looks like a book with some bottles and vials on top. But I don't like the way it looks, but maybe it's because they've just enlarged it and the item just looks horrible enlarged. Next item is called, what? Superstitiously Studious Stationery Pile. Oh god, that's a tongue twister. So again, a pile of books would look really good as clutter. The swatches, they just go through different colors of the books. Next item is called Collection of Floor Destruction 1 Scratches. So we have some scratches on the floor. The swatches change the scratch types. And next item is called Collection of Floor Destruction 2 Cracks. So we've done scratches and now we do cracks. They just have different kinds of cracks. They kind of look like lightning. Our next item is called Loomvik's Loom Flagship Rug Prototype. This is a really pretty looking rug. It's looking a little worn here. I think that you can see the floor underneath these areas, but it looks pretty. I like the wear on this one. I think this is one of my favorite rugs. This next item is called Loomvik's Loom Flagship Rug, but it's not the prototype. This must be the final version. This is a very clean version of the rug that we just saw. The swatches are the same as the prototype, but I think I prefer the prototype because it just looks a little more worn. Next item is called Factory Rubble. So this item is, yeah, definitely factory rubble. They changed the color up of the items. The next item is called 7th Confectioner's Calamity Firewood Rack. These are really long names. I don't know why they're so long. I think my favorite swatch is this one, which has moss on the wood. This next item is called Moonwood Relic Display. I like this one. It looks like it's made out of fence palings. They go through natural wooden tones. Oh, but then we've also got a variety of different wooden tones in the one item. This one's got the whole worn paint look going on. And the last item under decorations is called Boss Bus Bar, which I think we've already covered before. I guess we'll move on to pets. No, nothing in pets, so we'll move on to kids. This next item is called Precious Pups Plush Palace. So we have a brand new baby crib. I really like the cuteness of it all, and I like the ones that with the worn paint, like this one. Next item is called Sheep in Sheep's Clothing. This is a toy. It's a sheep. They got really nice pale swatches. Next item is called Fenry Chompsalot Jr. It's a cat. It's really weird that there's no toy that's a wolf in a werewolves pack. A missed opportunity. Swatches are okay, I guess. They just have four different versions of the same cat. The Lunar Wall Stickers collection. I think we've already covered this, so move on. And we've also seen the Gnome Wolf. We've gone through the Starry Night toddler bed under comfort, as well as the Hasty Replacement pallet bed and the Pups and Apogee Loft. So kids are covered. Let's move on to lighting. So our first item under lighting is called Patchy the Lamp. And boy, is it patchy. It looks like this lamp has probably seen better days. They have a certain tone to them all. So like they have a cool tone, they have a very like homey tone, and this colorful one. Next item is called Worn Factory Lighting. So this is a fluorescent light that you'd probably find in a factory. The swatches, they don't do anything really exciting for the item. They just kind of just change the color. The next item is called Night Night Moon Lamp. What? Night Night Moon Lamp. Wow, that's extremely repetitive. Can't we just call it Night Moon Lamp? This item, I don't know how they managed to get this star to hover in midair. Must be a magical item. The swatches change the color of the lamp, just the usual sort of pastel colors. I think the most vibrant one's probably got to be this blue one. The next item is called Graceful Moon Petal Lamp. I don't think I've ever seen a flower like this in The Sims. Oh wait, it must be based off the new moon petal flower that came with this pack. Looks like the swatches just changed the color of the base of the lamp. And now let's move on to electronics. And oh, we have a couple of things here. Our next item is called Moonlit Fable Wall Clock. Oh, it looks like a beautiful little cuckoo clock. You know, like a clock that goes cuckoo, cuckoo. It's called a cuckoo clock, right? Is that what you guys call it? It's of course werewolf themed. We have 3 swatches. We have a dark swatch, a light swatch, and a kind of witchy vibe swatch. And the last item under electronics is the rusted factory fan, which we've already covered. So let's move on to appliances. We have 2 new items. We have a woodsy mailbox. I like this mailbox. It's so cute. Looks like a box that's just been like attached to some tree branch. Oh, I really like these swatches with a worn paint look going on. And the next item is called oil drum trash can, and it's a trash can made from an oil drum. The swatches are pretty good. We got a good mix of plain and patterned ones. And now let's move on to storage. So 4 things under storage. The first item is called clothing storage chests. We've got some 2-toned swatches, and then we have these really worn out looking chests, which looks really good. And then we have the monochrome ones. Our next item is called racked teak great shelves. I don't know what oh, this is like a bookshelf, but like, I don't know. Would it actually stand up on its own? It doesn't look like it could. Anyway, this is Sims land, so I guess it will. So we have the wood tones, obviously, and then we have the paint peeled. Next item is called industrial bookcase. Looks like a bookcase that you'd probably find in a factory or something like that. The swatches are pretty good. They just continue on with this metal look. And this next item is called the Moonwood relic display, which I think we've already covered, so we'll move on. Doesn't look like there's anything new under off the grid. Doesn't look like there's anything under water features, and doesn't look like there's anything under transportation. So I think that's it for build and buy. Oh wait, I forgot to check the build stuff. So we'll look at the floor patterns. We only have 1 floor pattern, and that's called rough and tumble tile. The swatches for this item are pretty good. I think this one's the most textured one. Under wall patterns, we've got 3 new swatches. Our first one is called thrice rebuilt cabin walls. Looks like a wood paneling. They have a variety of different colors. Next item we have is called caution brick wall. They just changed the color of the brick, of course, and because of that, the caution kind of changes as well. Our next item is called no caution brick wall. So it's like this caution brick wall, but without the caution. Obviously. The swatches are pretty much the same as caution one, except without the caution. I can't believe I actually have to say that, but just in case it wasn't obvious. And now we'll move on to roof patterns. Our first roof pattern is called hole-filled sheet metal roof with accidental skylight. What? Oh, that's actually really, really pretty. This swatch, some of these panels are see-through, so they make a skylight, which is really cool. So this swatch is quite colorful. This is quite cute. I love this pastel look. Our next item is called Pigsy number 2 mossy wood shingles. I think this roof would look really good on a cottage because of all the moss. I think it's adorable. The swatches mostly change the color of the shingles, not really the moss, but I guess, you know, moss doesn't really change color. Our next item is called hole-filled sheet metal roof. So this item is like the first hole-filled sheet metal roof. The swatches are much the same as the roof pattern with the skylights. And now we'll move on to doors. And our first item is called woodsy wood wooden door. These names are wow. Like, I don't know about these names. This item's pretty good. It looks like a door that's been made out of scrap wood. We have plain wooden kind of tones and swatches, and then of course we have our painted swatches that are worn and peeled. Next item is tested by time industrial door. It's like a metal door that's just been like banged up. The swatches change the color of the door. Next item is called wolf graffiti industrial door, and I think this door only allows werewolves in. So yeah, it's just a door with a werewolf that's been like spray painted on it. The swatches are much like the other door. Our next item is called bold industrial door. Now, this door is framed by bricks, but then the wood looks really worn. But of course we've got swatches that change the color of the door, which is nice. And our next item is called brittle brick archway. So it kind of looks like the industrial door that we just saw, except without the door. In fact, it kind of looks like it's just the door's been ripped out. The swatches are okay. They just changed the color of the arch. Now let's move on to windows. And our first one is called wood slab window. I feel like this really matches that door this door. The swatches are pretty much the same as the door. They match. I guess that was the intention, so well done. Our next item is called Brittle Brick Frame. So I guess this one matches the archway that we saw earlier. And again, the swatches are gonna match what we saw with the arch. Our next item is called Old Factory Window Small. So this looks like the window that we saw earlier. That would probably match this door. The swatches seem to match the swatches on the door. And our last one is called Old Factory Window Large. So again, this would probably match this door. And the swatches are much the same as we've seen them in this door and the previous window. And let's move on to fences. Looks like we have 3 new fences. It looks like fence palings that have been reused and tied together to make a fence. The swatches are pretty good. So we've got our first couple of ones that have all the wooden tones, and then of course we've got that worn paint look. Our next item is called Old Factory Fence. You know, if this came in a nice clean swatch, that would look really good in an industrial build. So far they don't really have a nice clean swatch, which is a little disappointing because I was hoping to use it. Oh, well, that's not. I mean, from far away it looks clean, but I want something like pristine. So even the white one looks a bit worn. That's okay. I'll cry about it later. And our last fence is called Keep Out Chain Linked Fence. So yep, it's a chain linked fence. It's got barbed wire. We only have a couple of swatches. So we have a white, we have a gray, and we have a green. Let's move on to gates. So it looks like we only have one gate. It's called Maybe You Can Go In Chain Linked Fence. The swatches of course match the fence. Now we'll move on to columns. So our first column is called Basic Lumber Column. This column reminds me of the bookcase that was in this pack earlier. Let's see if I can find it. This one. Oh, it's exactly the same, just about. The swatches go through wooden tones, but then of course we have the painted look. Our next item is called the Toughest Factory Column. It looks like a metal post. The swatches are very colorful. Let's move on to spandrels, and our only spandrel is called Zigzag Factory Ceiling Rail. The swatches match the swatches on the column that we saw. Moving on to stairs and ladders, we have the old factory stairs. So again, they match these columns really well. The swatches, by the looks of things, also match the color and texture of the columns. So it's nice that we've got a little set going on. It makes things easier when I'm building. And now we'll move on to stair railings, and we have the old factory railing. We've got the column, the stairs, the railing, and the spandrel. So yeah, I think that's all the items. Just gonna double check. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all the items. So what did I think of the items? Well, the items are really scrappy and kind of worn looking. Some of the items looked salvaged. I think for other people it can look dirty and yucky, but for me, I really like the style because we don't have anything like it. So it's good to have in the catalog. But if you feel like you won't be building with the grungy style at all, or not interested in downloading any of it, the build buy stuff might not be for you. Of course, you'll have to check out the cast stuff and the gameplay to see whether or not any of that appeals to you. If you're a builder though, I would highly recommend this pack, only because it gives you more variety in what you can build, and I honestly can't wait to make something with these items. I don't know what yet. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you found this informative. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more of my stuff. If you haven't already, please leave a comment and check out my reaction to the Sims 4 Werewolves live stream.